Have you ever fallen short of achieving something because you failed to put in the effort required to not fall short of achieving that thing? Be honest. I've got a bit of an embarrassing story to tell you after this that's going to make me look like the idiot that I am. Coming up to Weekly Park now, and I've seen a dog. We're going to film this dog. Is that your dog? You mind if I film him? Thank you. Boxer. Good boy. Ah, big yawn. Opie looks so disgruntled. Okay, so I actually only used a fork to eat every meal for about 10 years. And the reason was because I thought I could only use a fork with these hooks. I'd worked out how to use a fork with my hooks from early on by placing the fork within the hook and then spinning it down, pronging something, spinning it back up to my face, and then bringing it to my mouth. The problem with using a spoon was that spoons need to remain level, lest you fling the contents onto the person opposite you or indeed yourself. And so it was difficult for me to keep a spoon level and get it up to my face at the same time. Eventually I found a wrist unit that can actually rotate when you press a button. And so when I put a spoon in my hook, I can actually raise it up to my mouth without spilling anything. The funny thing was that since I had resigned myself to the fact that I could never eat with a spoon, I didn't put in the necessary effort to work out a way of using a spoon. Much to my undying stupidity, I spent 10 years eating everything with a fork until I worked this out. I'd become a victim of the Nocebo Effect. So you've heard of the placebo effect, obviously, and the inverse of this is the nocebo effect. Basically, it means that when your expectations are too low, you don't act in a way that would ensure the outcome of whatever you're expecting.
So in medicine, the nocebo effect occurs when negative expectations of the patient regarding a treatment can cause the treatment to have a more negative effect than it otherwise would have. In clinical trials, some patients who are not even given an active treatment but are told what the side effects of the active treatment may cause end up having the same side effects as patients who are given the active treatment, only because they expect them to occur. In psychology, it's sometimes no different.
If you act in such a way in which you don't put in the effort for an outcome to be positive, then it's likely you won't have a positive outcome.
So imagine you're up for a job promotion that you really want, but it's between yourself and several others. Now, let's say the promotion is based on a multitude of performance factors, punctuality or collaborative metrics. Now, if you truly don't believe you'll be selected for the promotion, you may snooze on exactly the type of work and commitment that would be required for you to actually be selected for the promotion. This is the nocebo effect in action. So this is how our actions downstream of our expectations can have a significant effect on the outcome of any situation. Now, this is not to say in any way that simply believing things will go our way will ensure that outcome. In fact, one of my pet hates is when people espouse the ridiculous idea that when you want something, all you need to do is believe. Bullshit. But we need to understand that often our actions are downstream of what we might expect to be possible. So even if you think the likelihood of getting the promotion is slim, it would still behoove you to do your best to meet all the metrics required to secure the promotion. Now, it's important to keep in mind that not everything goes our way all the time. Trust me. But if our efforts represent the sine qua non of a positive outcome, we won't regret having done the best we could. The key is not to let the outcome define you, or not to become a prisoner of your feelings despite the outcome. This episode's quote is brought to us by Edward James Elkins. Thanks for commenting the quote, Edward. The quote is actually by William L. Watkinson, who was a preacher born in Hull, England in 1938. I've actually been to Hull, and it still felt like 1938. Anyway, Watkinson says, "It is better to light a candle than to curse the darkness." So sometimes in the face of helplessness or despair, it's more worthwhile to try and do something good or productive than to simply complain about the current circumstances. I guess this reminds us that while we're in control of how we respond to things, this also means we can choose to make things worse for ourselves by complaining, or to make the best of a situation by lighting a proverbial candle. And that's all from me.